This is my content management system CA1. My presentation is about the different approaches to usability between CMSs. The CMSs I've analysed are Silverstripe, Subrian and Jimdo. Each one takes a slightly different approach to usability. I'll start by telling you about the three different CMSs, starting with Silverstripe. Silverstripe is an open source CMS. It's based in PHP. It provides a simple environment for content authors but provides limitless flexibility for developers. It currently has 0.002% of the market share of all websites, so it isn't nearly as large as something like WordPress, but it's a similar size to the other CMSs I am reviewing. It's currently driven mostly by the community. Most of the modules and themes are created by just community developers. The pros of Silverstripe are that it's very flexible and extendable. You can create any kind of website on it. If you wanted to create a blog website or an e-commerce website, all you'd have to do is download the modules associated with those things. There is also a vibrant community of developers. They can answer questions on forums about any problems you might encounter with CMS. There is a lot of documentation for it. There is currently 4 versions of Silverstripe, each one having its own category of documentation. It's completely free. There is plenty of responsive templates, and the SEO functionality is built in. This includes changing meta tags for each separate page. The CMS supports 65 different languages, so it is available to most countries around the world. It's very easy to contribute themes or modules, as a lot of people choose to create their own theme rather than use one of the current existing ones. The cons of Silverstripe is that most of its power is only accessible to developers, so a content author can only create new pages and edit some basic content. It can't change the CSS or the theme or anything like that. All that has to be done in the back end by actually changing the code. A lot of the modules and themes may be low quality as they're community driven, so the quality of some of the modules and themes are hit and miss depending on who made them. A lot of people would end up creating their own themes anyway. It requires a skilled developer to make changes to the style of the website, because once again it's not available to the content author, and only a developer can add modules, widgets and themes because they have to be downloaded from the website and just dragged into the service directories. My evaluation of Silverstripe. Silverstripe is a very powerful CMS capable of creating any kind of website. It is an ideal CMS for a skilled developer who wants maximum control of what he's creating and doesn't want to be limited to designs of pre-made themes. Every theme downloaded can be modified to suit the developer's needs. It is a useful CMS for authors as it allows them to create and edit pages using a simple HTML editor, which works a lot like any word processor. It also allows them to allocate permissions to certain pages, but doesn't allow them to modify the design, modules, or widgets of the website, not allowing them to break it. However, as most of the design and functionality can't be modified from the editor, it requires a developer to change any functionality or design changes. It is ideal for someone who is creating a bespoke website without a short time limit. The second CMS I've researched is Subrian. It's a free and open source CMS. It's PHP and MySQL based, easy to extend with hooks, plugins and packages, very easy to install plugins and templates from the dashboard, it has an easy installation process without many server requirements, basic analytics included by default. This includes how many users are currently using it and how many users have used it over a certain amount of time. The content are created in blocks, and blocks are then dragged and dropped into place to determine where they lie in the website. SEO functionality is included by default, so they can change meta tags and things like that. There is plenty of responsive templates, and users can allocate privileges to certain users and create passwords on pages if they're like an admin area or something. The payment systems are built in, so they can be easily incorporate something like Stripe. It doesn't constrain you to team designs. So if you use a theme, then you can edit it enough so you can make your website look unique. It won't just look like another website just with that theme. And all the themes have a very modern design. The pros of Subrian is that it's very flexible with plenty of documentation. It's free even for commercial websites, although you must include the Subrian copyright in the footer. The templates are modern. It's easily updated. You just have to click one button and it updates everything. It's got a very fast learning curve and it's available in a variety of languages. There's a powerful debug tool, an easy to figure out user interface, and great customer support is available as it's a professional company with over 200 employees. The cons of Subrian are that there is not a wide range of themes available. If you wanted to create a blog, for example, there would only be 3 or 4 different blog themes, and if you wanted to create an e-commerce website, there would only be 3 or 4 of those themes too. This is the main disadvantage of Subrian. Some of the themes are quite plain, they don't have a lot of content on them, and there isn't a lot of versatility to them. You would have to edit it a lot yourself to get it to look like a professional quality website. Minor styling is difficult within themes, things like changing font color, font size, and background colors. These can be difficult from the theme user interface and would need to be done by a developer using code. Figuring out how to change content isn't as obvious as in other CMSs. It would be necessary to read documentation to figure out more advanced functionality. There's no introduction to the functionality of the interface. Everything must be learned through trial and error or documentation. It would be useful if I had a tutorial explaining how to use it. A lot of the plugins need to be paid for. This would include the higher quality ones. My evaluation of Subrian. Subrian is very powerful and easy to implement CMS that is capable of performing in a wide variety of roles. It can easily be made into a blogging template by choosing a blogging theme or into a simple e-commerce website by choosing an e-commerce theme. The main weakness of the CMS is the lack of themes available. It compensates for the lack of themes, however, by allowing much of the theme's functionality and design to be extended and edited to make each website created using a theme appear completely different to all the others. The themes that are available also have a very modern appearance and perform very well at the function that they are created for. Overall, I would consider this to be the best CMS that I have reviewed, as it balances ease of use with functionality and create a highly functional, aesthetically pleasing website in a fairly short period of time. The third CMS I researched was Jimdo. Jimdo is a highly adaptable CMS capable of building most kinds of websites very quickly. Its versatility varies depending on what package you choose. It has the option of creating the website for you based on the answers to some questions you answer about you and your business, and it creates it using an artificial intelligence. It hosts the websites for you, free for non-unique URLs, which will end in .jimdosite.com, although they offer paid for plans that allow unique domains. Great for a small to medium-sized e-commerce website. In paid versions, the user is allowed to access files directly to edit them. It's easy to create multiple websites using it, as all of those websites can be accessed from the CMS dashboard. You can create the website and personalize it very quickly. The pros of Jimdo are that the AI allows you to create a website quickly without any coding knowledge. It also includes statistics in SEO and paid plans built in. All templates are responsive. Hosting is included for all plans. It's available in multiple languages. You can have access to the code in paid versions. Lots of comprehensive tutorials. Resourceful community forums to answer any questions you may want to know about how to use the CMS. Easy to create templates for the community. And it uses HTTPS on all websites, including free ones. And it's also ad-free. The cons of Jimdo are that there is a limited amount of templates available. It's advertised as a drag and drop interface, although very few things can be dragged and dropped. You can't export the website from Jimdo hosting. This prevents you from moving any data away from Jimdo's servers, including the database, without having to manually enter it into your new website one by one. This is Jimdo's main disadvantage. A lot of the functionality to improve SEO needs to be paid for. In non-paid for plans, the themes can restrict customizability, particularly the AI-generated themes. My evaluation of Jimdo. Jimdo is a very useful CMS for making a website quickly and without having to worry about programming. It is ideal for bloggers, people who want to display a portfolio or a very simple small e-commerce website. If you wanted to make something more advanced than that, you would need to get paid plans. These offer more functionality and can fulfill any role. The main disadvantage of Jimdo is that the website cannot be exported from the Jimdo servers, making leaving Jimdo a much more difficult process. Now I will evaluate how the different CMSs compare to each other from different points of view. From a content creator's point of view, the difference is the amount of power the CMSs allow the content author. Silverstripe, for instance, allows very little power, just allowing them to edit and add new pages, whereas Subrian would also allow the content creator to edit the style and layout and even the theme. Jimdo allows the content creator to edit the style, layout, and theme, but that does depend on the package you choose. From the developer's point of view, they vary widely. Silverstripe offers the developer limitless power, allowing him to change anything, whereas in Subrian the developer doesn't have much power. He can't edit the core CMS code. In Jimdo the developer doesn't have a lot of power unless you are using the most expensive package they offer, as then they will get access to the code. In the free package the developer has no power at all, as there is no back-end interface for him. The difference is in the approach to the interfaces. Silverstripe has a very plain interface with a simple menu on the left of the screen, and everything is easily accessible from the dashboard. There isn't a lot of functionality from the interface. Most needs to be changed in the back end by a developer. In Subrian, they have a similar layout to their user interface, but it's more aesthetically pleasing. They put a lot more effort into the style of it. You can change the layout and theme from the interface in Subrian, which is in contrast to Silverstripe. Jimdo tries to hide the interface. They show you what the website looks like and allow you to drag and drop content in. It's the most intuitive interface and it's the best presented. My conclusion to the different approaches to usability between CMS is that there isn't a universally best approach you can take. If you want something bespoke and unique, then Silverstripe would be a perfect choice, but it only is useful for a project with a long timeline and a competent developer. Whereas if you wanted something quickly, Jimdo would be the best approach, as you can easily create a website that is aesthetically pleasing and don't need a developer or even to worry about hosting. And you can also do all of this in a very short period of time. But it isn't very useful for creating a complex website with a lot of different functionality, as its interface is quite limiting. Subrian is a nice combination of both these things. It allows you to create something unique, but also allows you to easily incorporate other people's modules into design as well. So, which is the best approach to take then? It really depends on the project scope and who is available to create the website.